Hello, hello. Welcome to Tween Talk today. If you are joining me here, I am super excited. Today we're going to be talking about dealing with failure or setbacks, helping your tweens deal with failure or setbacks or things that they perceive as a failure or as a setback. So sometimes it doesn't matter how supportive we are as parents. As our tweens are getting more independent, as they should be, they don't know everything. They're not going to do everything right. And they're going to struggle with how to handle some of these times when it feels like they're falling on their face, where they're not getting it right, despite how hard they are trying to do everything right. They want to do it on their own. They're trying to do it on their own, and boom, they land on their face, and you're like, ooh, how do I help them deal with that? That's what we're talking about today. I'm Marina Gabor, founder of Tween Talk and the Life Skills Club. Also a homeschooling mom of 3 daughters. They are at the end of those teen years. We've been through the tween years. Those went up and down, and I wish I had this kind of support. And so that is why I am doing this, and I am glad that you are here. So let's get right into it. Perhaps you are an authoritative type mom. So you're balancing this encouragement with you're encouraging, but there's boundaries, right? So that it's sort of this balance, which is generally a really positive thing. It's a supportive, dynamic way to parent. And perhaps you have an independent tween. They love exploring new things. Even from a little kid, perhaps they were the one that was always like, oh, let's check out this new thing. How is it going to work? How does it work? What can I do? What can I try? If they're in their kitchen, they're trying a recipe and they're experimenting. They're trying something new. If they're building a Lego set, maybe they're looking at the instructions, maybe they're not. Maybe they're like, oh, what else could I do with these? Those are the types of kids that we're talking about today. And you as the mom, specifically talking to moms today that have a fairly balanced parenting style where you are letting them have some freedom, but there's also some boundaries there. Now, you probably have reasonably high expectations for your tween, as you should. Reasonable expectations, but they're reasonably high expectations because you also support them so that they can achieve those things. Now, of course, when I say high expectations, every kid is different, 100%. Every kid's capacity is different. How they learn is different. All of that. So we're just talking about you have some expectations for your tween. And whatever expectations you have, they will try to rise to the level of those expectations. They need expectations. They need them. That's what's going to drive them. Even though when you set an expectation, they might grumble. They'll probably tell you, I don't like you. This isn't great, whatever. But it's through struggling to meet that expectation, that's where they're going to get the confidence, the self-confidence, so they can walk into another situation and go, I can do this. Because they've been at this level. So they know, oh yeah, I can get to that level. But sometimes on the way there, they land on their face. And we can be there to support, to provide encouragement. We can help them navigate these failures. Sometimes to them, the failure just seems like insurmountable. We can't get over this. I don't want to show my face. I'm totally embarrassed. Life is never going to be the same. And we need, from their perspective, that's fair. Their worldview is like this. Their level of experience or their sphere of experience is only like this. So we have to come from the outside as the parent and go, hey, Let me give you some new perspective. And let's do that in a way that promotes resilience and growth rather than discouragement. So how do we do that? How do we promote resilience and growth rather than discouragement? So they want to pick themselves up, try again, and try reaching for that next thing. So let's see. How do we cultivate a growth and resilient mindset? Mindset is so key, and it's not all like airy-fairy, woo-woo-woo mindset stuff. Not at all. Our thinking is so powerful. It can cripple you so you don't do anything, or it can empower you to feel like, yes, I can get up and I can try again. Even if I don't get it right, I'm going to try again. I'm going to get better. I'm going to grow. That's the kind of mindset we want. Now, here's the thing. Kids learn from us. Kids learn from us. So I know if I have a mindset issue and I'm thinking small, or something happens that, pushes me off my feet and I'm like, oh, I suck. How do I get over this? I can't do this. If I have that kind of mindset, my kids are picking that up. But instead, if I was like, oh my goodness, I totally bombed this. And then I say, how can I not let that happen again? What do I need to learn? What can I learn from this situation so that next time I'm better? So let's think about our own mindset as we are helping our tweens cultivate their growth and resilient mindset. Next thing, let's talk about emotional development in relation to independence. So when we're thinking about helping our kids navigate failures and setbacks, and then we're thinking about emotional development. So think back to a time where you maybe didn't handle something very well from an emotional standpoint. You reacted not necessarily with your tween, but in a relationship with a peer, a spouse, friend. And even as adults, we don't always regulate our emotions enough to have the appropriate emotional response. Perhaps something happens and our emotional response exceeds what is reasonable for that situation. So even we have times where we're like, oh, that makes me so angry, and we just lose it. If you've never had that experience, I don't know what to say. Maybe you've had a different kind of experience where your emotions just completely took over. Now, imagine you don't have very good emotional regulation yet, okay, because you're a tween. So your tween needs your support to help them regulate their emotions as they're dealing with failures and setbacks, so that they can appropriately express what they're feeling and then move forward and figure out, okay, how can we solve this problem? And they probably don't want you to solve the problem, but you can actively listen to their concerns, you can validate their feelings, you can guide them in setting realistic goals. And that is supporting that emotional development. They go, oh, it's okay to be upset that this happened. It's not okay to be upset that that happened and let it take over everything. So we can be upset and then we can do something. And by showing them the two sides of that, you're helping them manage their reactions, and it's building this emotional intelligence. So the next time they have a setback, because there will be, guaranteed, more setbacks, then they'll go, okay, I need to own it. I was very disappointed. All right, I'm going to sit with that disappointment for a while. That really sucks. And then they can think, all right, so the next time I'm out with friends and I really want to go somewhere, but I already have a previous commitment, it's really going to suck, but that's okay. I will just think through what I say yes to in the next time. So they can work through situations. Like, this is an ongoing process. The third thing we can do is acknowledge their efforts. This is part of that growth mindset. When we're thinking, it's not one and done. It's, okay, I did 100% of what I'm capable for this task and I failed. So I can learn something and the next time it'll be better. But you as the parent, you as the mom can say, hey, I really appreciated your effort in trying to make dinner tonight. Even though the spaghetti was mush, the ground beef was burnt, and, there wasn't quite enough tomato sauce. Like, it was a wreck. Total wreck. However, you don't have to tell your tween it was a total wreck. They already know that. But you can say, I really appreciate you taking the time. It's your dinner date. You took the time. And, well, then you can tell a story about when you had a similar situation. And then say, so how can we salvage this? And then sit down with them and say, okay, so let's see, how can we make this not happen again? So that we could get an edible dinner, something that we could enjoy together. We can totally do the spaghetti again. So what can we do different next time? And next time, perhaps you can be there as a resource when they're making stuff to make sure that, it kind of turns out like you're there as a backup support. And then you slowly move away again until they are confident, competent with it. But you can help them set some achievable goals. Say, yes, it is possible for you to make spaghetti dinner for supper. And one failure does not equal you're a total failure in life. It's like, this happens. So let's see how we can make it not happen next time. And by doing that, you're showing that, okay, well, we can persist. We don't give up just because something didn't turn out once. And we have a positive outlook on, like, okay, you have this challenge. Look at all the good things that happened from this. And this is what is helping build this strong and resilient character, which is what you want in your tweens. We want strong, resilient tweens that can bounce back after failure and setbacks. So here's a couple of practical things you can do as you are helping your tween work their way through failures and setbacks. First of all, listen. I know, why does it always have to start with listen, right? But we want to listen, and we might feel like, oh, they're not going to talk to me. Just wait. They will talk. But if you fill the silence, they don't need to talk. So just wait, let them talk. You could ask them a question and then wait. And then if they start saying something and then they stop, just repeat the last couple of words. Like, oh, I was trying to make this spaghetti. So you can just even say the last word and then they'll keep talking. It's like, you just keep pushing the rock, kicking the rock down the street, right? So you just keep seeing it, saying the last word, then they say a little bit more, then saying the last word, and then they say a little bit more. And validate their emotions. Like, they're upset. They wanted this to be wonderful. They're disappointed, and that is okay. That when you validate their feelings, when you label their feelings, we talked about this in another Tween Talk, when you're labeling the feelings like, wow, that's disappointing, then they recognize what that feels like in their body. And then eventually they can say, yeah, I was super disappointed, because they recognize it. They know it. They can label it. And when you can label it, you can do something about it. All right, you can ask open-ended questions. So rather than just yes, no questions, are you sad? Like it's a yes, no question. So we want questions like that they need to respond to more than with a yes or a no. So what do you think happened? Like, why do you think the noodles got so mushy? Oh, because they can't answer that yes or no. Then they're like, oh, I boiled them too long. Oh, okay. So just be cool with it. You can ask them open-ended questions and shift the focus from the failure, the soggy noodles, or whatever the case may be, to the effort. Again, we're back to that, focusing on the effort. Now, to be fair, in life, when you have a job, you need to get the job done, and effort doesn't always count when employers are looking for an outcome. 100%. But when we're teaching our tweens and they're learning a new skill, that is the time to say, hey, I noticed you put in all this effort. This is the outcome. And let's try again next time if that didn't work out. And that setback, that failure, they are not the failure. It is they had a setback. And then you have a plan for moving forward. Always be getting them to brainstorm and keep it simple. Super, super simple. What do you think you could do next time? What's one thing? Oh, put the timer on for the noodles. Great. And then leave it at that. And then just reinforce that you are there for them. 100% unconditional. You're there to support them. And acknowledge they will have failures and setbacks. You're there for them. And part of becoming independent is learning and growing and becoming resilient. So you can get back up, try again, get back up, try again. And that is the continual process of learning. So they can build that better mindset, that growth mindset, and navigate future challenges. I hope this has been helpful for you as you are walking through life with your tween and they are dealing with failures, they are dealing with setbacks, but it's not the end of the world when those things happen. You can be supportive and you can promote their independence by helping them build a more growth-minded mindset and promote resilience rather than discouragement. Again, if you have enjoyed this session, look for more Tween Talk episodes. You'll find them in the Tween Talk Facebook group and YouTube as well. So until next time, keep talking with your tween.